You heard that song? That song sounded good, right?
Yeah, but it just felt like it ended suddenly.
I know, that's what happens. I only give it a minute. I should change that up. But who asked you? No kidding. No, but we got some people showing up, but like this one's not gonna be about statues, FYI. I know this channel is usually all about statues and stuff, but today I wanted to go over with Christopher about a movie we both watched, not together or anything like that, but maybe we stopped by to check out. But yeah, man, like it's crazy to have the captain back. So
Yeah, feels good to
welcome.
be back. Got my
Hey! Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
yeah. I won't
No.
be wearing that today though.
No, it's cool to have you back. What's up, late nights? What's up, Skills? What's up, Danny? Again,
Guys.
no statues today. So here's a good question. Deflex Zone. He's asking, well, casual, let me ask you, after watching the movie, will you pick up any of the Batman statues? So the Batman statues, there's Prime 1, Queen, and J&D supposedly coming out with another one. I can't collect 1/3, man. There's no room for 1/3. If I were to collect one, though, I would get the Prime 1. I would suggest the Prime 1. I
Is
don't
that
know.
of the Batman himself?
Yeah, so all three companies made a Batman rendition.
Okay.
The Queen Studios one is with I'll go over it next time, but it's cool. Like, how about you, Deflex one? Like, what would you get? But yeah, like I said, this is gonna be about the Batman. I wanted to put this up for at least a minute, so in case people start crying later. There's spoilers on this one, so if you guys don't like spoilers and you guys haven't watched the movie, don't watch the rest of this video. So I'll give you guys like a minute or two, but without spoiling the movie, what do you think?
Well, I mean, are you asking me or the chat?
You.
Okay, cool. I liked it. I wasn't expecting it to be so like more on the detective side,
Mhm.
But it's good. It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. How about you?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much I watched it 2 times, but I have to say the second time I was not falling asleep, but I was definitely like, all right, let's keep going.
Uh-huh. Sorry, did you say that was your second time when you said let's keep going, or the first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll get into that, like why I said that in a little bit, but yeah, I just want to give it like another minute. So it's so hard not to talk about spoilers, but
Mhm. Yeah. And it's like eh, to even talk about the movie, you want to go into it like I went into it completely blind. I saw one trailer and then that was it, and I only saw it like once. So going into it, I went with the mindset it's going to be a Batman movie, so there's obviously going to be villains. There's going to be him fighting against the villains. There's going to be a lot of action, and yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was still a good movie.
oh, that's not good.
What?
No. That's good. It's good. Everyone has their thing, so we'll get into it too. So I think that hits a 2-minute marker almost, but so spoilers ahead. Here we go. So I wanted to talk about first about the cast, the character.
Mhm.
So I divided this up into 3 sections: the cast, characters, and cosplay. I was joking around when I said cosplay like their suits, their outfits, and stuff like that.
The costumes.
Their cost, yeah. But so I wanted to first start out with the Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. What did you think?
Bruce Wayne. At first when I saw the movie, I thought he played a terrible Bruce Wayne. He
Oh, are you
was,
serious?
yeah, like he was angry. He didn't really talk to like the press. He wasn't smiling. He never smiles as Bruce Wayne. He was always like complaining when. I mean, there was that one scene where Alfred was saying how he was bringing over guests, and then he didn't. Bruce Wayne didn't even like really turn around. He's like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like a grumpy Bruce Wayne. Um, but the thing is, later on, when I was hearing the director Matt Reeves talk about it, he was saying how it's still him in the beginning. He's trying to figure out how best to be Batman, what he can do, um, and he sort of like is learning still to embrace the Bruce Wayne side that can help people. But yeah, I get it for why he acted like that, but I didn't like the way he portrayed Bruce Wayne, but I understand why.
Yeah. Like so for me, Bruce Wayne, and I'm sorry about this movie. It's I read up on it, like what it's about, where it's like coming from. So it's
Mhm.
the second year Bruce Wayne is Batman. So he's trying to figure out how to play Bruce Wayne and how
Mhm.
to play Batman, because in all reality they're 2 different characters. Supposedly, even the Riddler says like when I put on the mask is who I when I'm the real me, but when I
Uh,
take off the mask is like I'm just a normal accountant or whatever. But like for me, Bruce Wayne was like uh I mean Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. I thought he played it I would say terrific. Because like
Hey.
you don't want to play overboard. You don't want to get too much muscle, because like a lot of people's complaints too was like his muscle structure or his like body
Mhm.
was not big enough supposedly. So I was like, but he's just starting out. He's still figuring out how to use all his gadgets. He's still using figuring out how to do everything. So Bruce Wayne is not like he's not the billionaire type yet. Bruce Wayne's just like still trying to figure out Batman. So he's
Yeah.
trying to stay under the radar when he should be, Bruce Wayne has as much of an impact as Batman almost, I guess. But he hasn't figured that out yet.
Yeah, and it's like in the ending too, when like after the huge destruction that happened, he's saving that, or he's helping that girl onto, I think, were they like taking her on a helicopter or something?
Yeah,
And during his like little monologue, he was saying he learned that people don't really need vengeance; they need hope, and
yep,
he's hoping he become that symbol. And that's him like recognizing that. Like we saw that real time, him recognizing that as he looked up at her.
yep.
So yeah, he's still figuring things out, and I I hope if they do make a sequel that we get to see him like a billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
That's the Bruce Wayne, that we know. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's not even in a bad way either. Like we don't like. I don't think anybody likes like the what we call the billionaire or whatever.
Mhm.
Like he's just Bruce Wayne. That's Bruce Wayne. He's like the most intelligent person in the DC universe, or one of the most intelligent ones. So like seeing him do like Robert Pattinson doing this role like for Bruce Wayne, I think he played it like good, like
Yeah,
really, yeah.
definitely. And I was surprised, because he obviously did Twilight. I saw him in a few more things after that. I never saw Tenet. I saw The King, and he was great in that. And there was another movie with him and Tom Holland. I think it was called like The Devil Inside Me or something.
Mhm.
But he's like a phenomenal actor, and seeing him as Bruce Wayne and Batman, yeah, Like he nailed it, I think.
I know, like before the movie even started, or it was like getting announced, a lot of people were like, "The guy from Twilight, the guy from Twilight, the guy from Twilight." I was like, "Did you guys watch these other movies? Like, there's a bunch of other movies." I think the biggest reason why a lot of people didn't recognize him or didn't think he was going to do a great thing is the Twilight stuff, of course, but they didn't watch the. They're called independent movies. They're not like major flicks.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, like, if you guys watch this movie, you could see this guy's acting potential. Like, he's doing all these roles, I'm sure, just to get an experience in. So I thought he was great.
Yeah, yeah, and like people saying that the guy from Twilight, and then I always see the next comment, the comparison as Heath Ledger as the Joker. You know, the guy
Mhm.
from Brokeback Mountain, the pretty guy, pretty boy, whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, you know, we all see what he did with that.
yeah. So the next character or part of the cast is, of course, Batman. uh, for me, I thought, as like you could see in like his in his suit, like he's wearing pads like like a SWAT team would wear, right?
Yeah.
Like he's still figuring it out. Like, and like it's kind of rusted, faded around his suit, so he's still getting, it's to the next level. He's trying to figure that out. And then like his cowl, I think everyone's biggest issue with his cowl is like it just looks too, his forehead looks too big, and his everything
Huh.
looks like way out of whatever proportion. But then I saw this report where it's like literally protecting the frame of his skull. So like if you were to put a skull, inside there, it would fit perfectly.
Yeah.
So I love that touch. Like it looks to me, this is what the movie is all about. It's realistic. It's it's brought down to real life. This is like it's not a comic book movie that much either, but it's real,
Yeah, it's
it's
grounded
realistic.
a little bit.
It's
Yeah.
grounded, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I liked his. I admit at first I thought that little cow he had on his like neck there.
Mhm.
I thought it looked dumb at first, but seeing it in movement and in action, it fits with the whole movie. It's just raining. Like the whole movie's like it almost never stops raining in the movie. There's maybe 2 or 3 scenes, but
Yeah.
it just looks like he's dressed for the weather, and uh, I can't help it, but since it's Robert Pattinson, I think of Twilight, and then I see this outfit, and it just kind of looks almost vampiric in a way.
Mhm.
You know, like he's a vampire in disguise still, but it still fits. So I like
Yeah.
it.
I think the director's Matt Reeves, right? So like
Yeah.
I think the way he was approaching this too is like he's probably he's building all these things by himself, He doesn't have Fox. What's his name?
Lucius Fox.
Lucius Fox, yeah. Morgan Freeman. He
Yeah.
doesn't have Morgan Freeman yet. And he's putting SWAT clothes all around. So it's just, even his like little arrows or whatever he has on his forearms. I think those are from like samurai outfits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I love this like character, Batman. There was that scene where like he jumps and his air suit comes out, right? He like
Oh yeah.
basically
Yeah.
glides, and when he glides, his parachute comes out and it hits the bridge, and then like he does a bunch of flips, right?
Yeah.
So
Still
I
learning.
know I know a lot of people didn't like that scene, but I know when I saw that scene, I was like, get up, get up, and he got up. He struggled to get up, but he got up.
Yeah.
He didn't go down there crying or anything like that. He just kept going with it. So I really, really enjoyed that part.
I didn't even think about that scene in particular when he's jumping off. Honestly, when I saw it, I was like, "That is stupid," because
Oh
of
yeah.
his like the way it looked. He's got it just suddenly became like a fat man suit, sort of.
Mhm.
It's like stretched out all the way, and then he's just like going out there like a flying squirrel.
Yeah.
And it's like he's supposed to be Batman. That looks like a squirrel, but yeah, talking about how he's still learning with the SWAT gear and the wrist guard there, it's like, of course he would look stupid the first time he does that. Like you could even see that he was really nervous the first time, so he's still learning. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah. There's also argument. Well, I read a lot up on this. Like I didn't read a lot, but like there's a part where people were commenting about like his suit being like too bulletproof.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where like he's getting the shotgun. There's like one of the Riddlers getting the shotgun, and he shoots him like probably like 3 feet away, 5 feet away,
Mhm.
and he's like, oh, I could barely breathe. I was like, that's kind of hard to believe. That was a little bit too much. The bulletproof is way, I think, over the top. I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, well, we'll get to it later. There's like a certain scene where after he takes a shotgun blast, and I'm just like, I don't like. Maybe, I don't know. We could
Yeah.
move on to something else.
We'll definitely get to it.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to point out is all these characters. The thing I love about this movie is they don't throw away characters. All these characters are like, you want to hear their story, you want to like listen, you want to hear them out, and you want to see what happens to them. So that's another thing I liked about this movie is the characters are not wasted. So
Uh-huh.
the next character we have is what's his name? Is Catwoman.
Yeah.
So her name is Zoe Kravitz, and I haven't seen too many movies with her, to be honest, like before. But the way she played this, I thought she wasn't over acting the role, or I don't think she was underacting. I think she was the perfect middle. Like the
Yeah.
way her gestures with her fingers and the way she lands and the way she puts on the suit. It's like very cat-like, just like, a little far-fetched, but like it's it's Catwoman.
Yeah. I kind of wished we knew more about her in this movie, like how she became Catwoman, or how she learned her martial arts. Because it just seems like she just suddenly appears, and then oh wait, hang on, I thought that was someone else. It just seems like she suddenly appeared and then was kicking ass immediately. I'm like, what? Well, we know Bruce Wayne's story, but Catwoman, she's had like that Halle Berry movie,
Yeah.
and like that, nobody counts that as canon or seriously. So yeah, I kind of wish we knew more about like how she was able to kick so much ass. But she played great. She was amazing as Catwoman, in my opinion.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later, but like the development that you find out that she's, so and so,
Yeah.
But yeah, she was great. I thought she was perfect for this movie. I didn't mind her not having the outfit that we were all used to. I mean, she had a leather everything, but like she didn't have those crazy claws or
Yeah.
whatever. It was realistic again. It was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like you see there with her ski mask on, like, and she's got like the little, like the ends that kind of look like cat ears.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Like right here, you see it covering her chin, but later on in the movie, that area is just completely gone, and it just covers just her nose. So it kind of looked a little bit silly, in my opinion, later on in the movie.
Mhm.
But yeah, from what we see in this picture, I think it worked out pretty well, except
Yeah.
for when it's losing that piece.
Yeah, I mean, like the interaction with Batman, that was like a little bit funny. Like, vengeance. She kept calling him vengeance,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
like
I
how
like
they would
that.
always like almost kiss but not kiss, and then she's a badass. Like as soon as she figured out where he was, she was like, I'm gonna go get him, and then Batman had to chase her down basically to stop her.
Hmm.
Because he knew she would do what she said. So she was a great character.
Yeah, and she wasn't like trying to be a hero. She was
Yep.
just trying to do what she wanted.
Yep. The next character, probably a lot of people's favorite character. uh, I honestly enjoy the actor. His name is Paul Dano. He's in one of my favorite movies of all time. What's it called? There Will Be Blood.
Yeah,
He's the priest,
yeah, he's amazing.
and he kind of is the same character. Like when he freaks out, he has this loud voice that just goes,
It's like screechy almost, right?
yeah. But then he's also like, one of the quiet types. Like when you look at him, you wouldn't suspect anything. So he has that going on for him, right? But then I don't know. How do you feel about him being the villain in this movie?
I think he deserved more screen time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like he was good as the Riddler. I'm not a fan of the costume still, just because it looks lazy in my opinion. Because
The
it's just a
mask or
trench coat,
the trench
like
coat?
everything. It just looked lazy. And then seeing his goons later on in the movie dressed up exactly like him, I was like, well, he should stand out a little bit because Riddler is the kind of guy who wants to be known for outsmarting a Batman, and he wants to take credit for that. I mean, in this one, obviously, he was under the impression they were together, but uh, yeah, Paul Dano as Riddler was great. We kept hearing his voice in disguise the whole movie,
Yeah.
and we didn't hear his real voice until the last scene. And I don't know. I was kind of hoping he'd be in it more.
It's funny. A lot of people compared him to the voice of Bane,
Yeah,
but I
yeah. I
thought he
saw like
played.
a. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I thought he played it great. Like the Riddler, I would like to see him as the accountant. You know,
Yeah,
I
that
would
would
have
have been
liked to
good.
see him. Yeah, because like you only see him kind of when he's at the coffee shop or the diner. You know,
Yeah,
he's just there. I mean, like I would have loved to see him like walking around. I mean, you get to see him in, of course, that funeral. For you get to see the back of him or a shadow of him, but it would have been cool of him like reading something and then like putting things together. Like that would have been really cool. I thought.
yeah. Just to kind of see his day-to-day life.
But so here's another question for you about the Riddler. A lot of people's complaint is the movie is 2 hours and a half plus. If we were
Yeah.
to add all this screen time for him, do you think this movie would have dragged on?
No, like if they added more screen time to him, I would have preferred if they took out some of the Bruce Wayne scenes in favor of it. Because the Bruce Wayne scenes, like we know that he's like a grumpy Bruce Wayne or like don't talk to me kind of Bruce Wayne, and then just seeing like I feel like they did they devoted a lot of screen time just to show us the audience that he's like that. Where I feel
Yeah.
like less is more in that situation because we already know he's going to be a broody one after like the first two scenes with him. So I feel like they could have added more Riddler in it, and I don't know, it would have helped.
Yeah, I think so. But
But the movie is long.
the movie is long.
Yeah.
The second time I watched it, I was just like, I kind of wanted to press the fast forward button in some
Hmm.
parts. It
Yep.
does have some parts where it should have been like deleted scenes. Like for me, the car chase scene is kind of too long. Like it doesn't get you inside of it, other than like the major parts. But we'll talk about that later. But like, yeah, I think Paul Dano did a great job with this character of the Riddler.
Yeah. Another nail. He nailed it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing though. Like with these characters, like we'll go through all of them right now, but like there's I don't know if there's a bad actor, but they're great actors.
Ooh, you know what? I think I might know one, but we'll get to it.
Like I wanted to bring this up because like we were talking about Paul Dano's great. I mean, this is like one of the it's funny because it's creepy and it's like it's him, it's
Hmm.
Paul. And I love this picture. Like this is when he gets captured, of course, but this is one of the only times we get to see him. Oh, but plus when he's arrested too, when he's talking to the Batman, you get to see the performance. Like he's like screaming at Batman, thinking he's part of the plan and everything. And
Yeah,
yeah,
he's great. And I like too, like there was like a scene where he had like shown a video to the news of a guy he captured, and then he was talking, and the guy was like, "Please just listen," and he's like, "Shut up," and he like his voice gets all high and screechy.
yeah,
Yeah, so,
that's Paul. Yeah, Paul's like great actor. I hope there's more to come with him. So it'd be
yeah,
great.
definitely.
Like for me, Colin Farrell. Like I know this is everyone's uh, most popular comment is you can't see him here, but
Mm,
I love his accent. I love how mafia he took it.
mm.
Like the way when I don't know if you noticed, but when he walks, he
Yeah,
wobbles,
yeah.
and
It's like
like
he had a bad leg or something.
yeah, and the scars on his face and everything, it just adds to like the mafia. Like he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
and then like his nose is a little bit straight, like or like a little arrow, kind of like a penguin. That's like a nice little touch, you know. Like plus the I I think Colin Farrell played the penguin great. Like all the scenes he's in, it's just
Yeah,
it's
look at his
perfect.
outfit too. It's black and then white in the middle, like a penguin.
Yeah. I also like a big thing for me is cinematography. It's
Mhm.
like I don't know if you noticed, but like they keep him in the center of the camera and they zoom in or zoom out, so you could see different depth inside his face. And with this character, since he has like all these features around his face, you get to see it and it like in detail, and like you get to enjoy it more. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and he didn't play over the top. Like
Mhm.
for like Danny DeVito as Penguin, that was fine, I think, because it was like the setting was kind of already over the top a little bit. For this one, it's kind of a more grounded take, kind of like The Dark Knight almost. But yeah, he did a great job. In fact, this is actually my favorite performance of the whole movie is Colin Farrell's Penguin. There's a scene where he's chasing Catwoman and like shooting at her, and he just yells out, "You think you could take my money?" And I just love
Yeah,
that scene. Like
yeah.
the way he delivered the lines, his character, he was the best performance in my opinion.
What's up, Aiden?
What's up, Aiden?
So one of my favorite scenes is this one right here.
Take it easy, sweetheart.
Take it easy.
But you hear that accent, you could tell it's Colin Farrell, but he puts a twist on it, you know, like a mafia twist,
Yeah,
and that like, I don't know if I think he's English or is he Australian?
I don't know. I don't really know too much about Colin Farrell to be honest.
Yeah, but I think he's like yeah, he has a accent, you know. I think it's Australian, but I could be wrong. But like you know, adding that plus like adding a whole other accent, like it's crazy, you know.
Yeah,
He's
he's
another one that
I was gonna say he's kind of slimy too, like the way he talks to people, calling
Aiden,
Batman sweetheart.
Aiden says he thought the movie was pretty good, but not that great. Oh, and then he says my favorite was you have a lot of cats.
Yeah. Who says that? Was it Batman or?
It's Batman when he's like with Catwoman's
Yeah,
house.
you have a lot of cats.
But like yeah, definitely loved this character. Like what did you say about the nail thing? Another nail?
Oh yeah, another nail.
Yeah, another
He nailed
nail, to be honest. Like
it,
he did great. Uh so I got this picture because this is the only face he makes in the whole movie. The whole movie is just that. Like you could put all the whole movie. You could just put this, and that's the only face he makes.
Yeah, it's like a constipated kind of look, or like a look where he's like he has an itch somewhere
Yeah,
and he can't scratch in front of everybody.
yeah.
He's got to focus.
But this Jeffrey Wright, he plays Commissioner Gordon, and I don't know if you read the books year one, but the whole comic book series is basically about Gordon being in Gotham, and you know, Bruce Wayne trying to become
Hmm.
Batman. It's
Yeah,
basically their journeys together on the future, basically like protecting Gotham. So
yeah.
you get to see it from both sides.
It's a good comic. I read it. I liked it.
I love how they take the story from Gordon too. So because he's very essential to the whole series. So I liked it.
Yeah, he's like the connection between Batman and police. I
Yep.
liked his performance. He was pretty good. I know some people were complaining how he wasn't like the traditional white Commissioner Gordon guy, but like for everyone who hasn't seen it or doesn't care about spoilers, trust me, he plays a great Gordon. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he looks like. He's great. He nailed it. His character's good. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he nailed it too?
I think he nailed it too. Like all the scenes, it's just he doesn't try to overplay his role. He's Commissioner Gordon. You know, you
Mhm.
don't see him try to like take the spotlight from Batman or anybody else. He's playing his role. He's playing it like to the best. I thought he played it great. Like if you guys read year one, he's just like this. He's just he's mad at the world. So
Yeah.
and he's tired of being like used. Basically, he notices all this corruption around him, and he doesn't know who to work with because he doesn't trust anybody.
Aiden says his color means nothing. I love his acting since Westworld. Yeah,
Westworld's
right there
great.
with.
Yeah.
I only saw like season 1 up to like episode 9 or something, and then I stopped. But he was good in that. He was good.
Yeah, he's a great actor. So yeah, like Aiden says, color doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
This guy, color means something to me with this guy. No kidding.
Yeah. Was that Falcone? I keep forgetting his name. Carmine Falcone, right? Or
Yeah, Falcone, and like it's played by, his name is John Torturo. This
very
is
weird.
one. Yeah, this is one where I could see somebody else playing him, like or Falcone. Like he seems like he's about to laugh every single sentence. He's like he's gonna say something really funny. Like I can't, like right here. He even looks like he's about to tell a joke, but he has like a smirk in his mouth. And
You know what I think it is? I think it's because he's been in so many comedies that you can't help but sense that like comedic humor side of him
yeah,
as an actor. But yeah, I had the same impression that like, every time I kept looking at him, I was like, he's gonna crack a joke here. Like, look at his face, look at his face. But no, he did a good job. I don't really see Carmine Falcone in a lot of like live action Batman stuff. And if I did, I mean, they were always like a minor character. Here he played like one of the major characters, and it was interesting to see performance on that guy.
yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but the revelations of like towards the end of the movie is, you don't see it coming, but then also like it leaves a question in your mind, like who really got rid of whose parents, you know?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I would say this is the first one that's not a nail. Like I could see somebody else doing this character.
Now, would you say it's because of his past, like his history of other
No,
movies,
no,
or
no, 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 not at all. I
performance?
just, when I see movies, I try to let those go. You know, like
Mhm.
he should have been playing this more like this other character. Like this movie, like I don't know, we're at 32 minutes and I haven't referenced any of the older movies. You know, that's why I try not to compare them or anything like that.
Mhm.
But no, it's just like the actor didn't play it like, I guess I would say he didn't play it mafia enough. Like Colin Farrell, I'm sure he has a bunch of other movies that he's played mafia, but this guy, he didn't play it mafia enough. He's supposed to be the leader of all the mafia, you know?
Yeah, the Falcone family,
Yeah.
even
And
penguins.
like if I were to see this guy, I'd be like, oh, what's up? He looks like an uncle or something.
Yeah, you know what? I got that impression. He's a Theo.
Yeah. I was like, but yeah, man, like
I thought he was fine.
he was fine.
It's like I said though, like I don't really see Falcone a lot in other movies, and if I did, I forget about them because they're minor. So it's kind of hard to say if he nailed his performance or not. And plus, the comics I read, he's always dead or gets talked about as if he's like
Yeah.
out of scene or something.
The cool thing I do like about this movie is like when they mentioned he got shot and Bruce Wayne's father helped him. That's part of the comics. So I really, really like that part. The next character is Andy Serkis. How you pronounce his name?
I think Circus.
Circus.
Yeah.
But he played Alfred, and I don't think you could go. You can't not be good or bad for playing Alfred. It's just
True.
every time I see Alfred in my head is like, I failed you. You know, he's crying.
Yeah. He's he was in the movie for what, like 5 minutes?
Yeah, all well, I don't know. He had that scene when he's talking to Bruce on his death or on in the hospital. That was like,
That's a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even that was only like 5 minutes too, though.
Hmm.
It just like we could see this movie's like more about Batman because it's obviously called The Batman, not the Batman and Justice or whatever.
Alfred.
Yeah, but he played okay. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of him. I think we could have used more of him to see his counsel to Batman, but Batman wasn't even listening to him in the beginning. So, um, Yeah, I didn't really. I feel indifferent about it. You know, I don't really feel one way or the other.
Yeah, like he played it to the standard of Alfred. Like, there's nothing that blew me out of the park by having him as the actor.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like that's the director's fault or if it's like the writing, but he doesn't really blow me away.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if there's a sequel, he's going to play a bigger role,
Yeah.
because he's obviously Batman's still figuring out, how best to approach the crime, and he's not listening to his counsel in this movie, and maybe in the next movie he starts listening more, especially after they have that tender moment with each other.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see him more in the next one, and I hope we'll see interesting Alfred.
Walton says Andy is a great actor, but he primarily does voice work. So he also did. He was in Lord of the Rings. You know which character?
Yeah, he was Gollum.
Yeah,
Smeagol.
yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
He's in Black Panther. He's in like some other Marvel movies, but he does great work, and he's actually got an Oscar for some of those roles. So it's just like they didn't use him enough for this movie, I think.
And I think it makes sense not to use him enough too, because Batman's just not having it.
Yeah, yeah.
If they replace him with like a robot Alfred and he does the voice, I'd be up for that. Because he's got a great voice.
Hayden says 13 going on 30.
Don't hate. Who's 13 going on 30?
What? He was also Snoke.
Snake? Oh, Snoke.
Was he really?
Huh. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Wow. But that wasn't a great character. But yeah, it was. Yeah.
Ugh, it's a shame.
I wanted to put her in because she's basically the mayor of Gotham, and I thought it was interesting to have her as the mayor when like the animated series, the books, like it's always a guy, it's like a chubby guy or whatever.
Yeah.
They took this approach. I know it's like 2022 and everything, but I was like, wow, like they're letting other people finally join in.
Yeah. I don't mind too. Like, change it up if you want. It's as long as like you keep Batman. Like,
Yeah.
the Batman. I don't care like which actor plays Batman, as long as he's true to the character. For her, I don't. I feel indifferent again, just because of they played it really safe with her. Like, she didn't have any quirks or notable traits except that she seemed to be honest and she seems to be pushing everything in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's definitely a funny perspective because like I thought the whole time she looked very young compared to the other candidate, right?
Oh,
She was
yeah.
like very, very like she looked young, but then also she was like, we gotta stand up for this. We gotta stand up for this. And like towards the end of the movie, she's still there. Like I feel like if the other candidate was there, he would have like went off on his jet, flew away by now. But she stood by him. But yeah, I guess I feel the same. I feel indifferent about her too. But she played it to the character. So
yeah, it was okay. It was whatever.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I wanted to include this guy because his name is Jay Licurgo.
Jay Leno.
Because there's talks of him being the next Robin.
What? Really?
Yeah. So he like people who like theorize all this stuff or speculate all this stuff. He gets recruited by these guys, but then he sees Batman doing good, and he wants to become the next Batman, and becomes the next Robin.
Yeah.
I love his performance when he's when Batman's beating the crap out of the other character. He just comes out and it looks like he's about to cry because he's like he's not like, I guess he's scared, but then he's also like, I don't want this to happen to me,
He's like looking left or right. He's like, guys, I don't know about this. Wow, I didn't think he'd bring this guy up though. Yeah, I guess if people are theorizing he's going to be Robin, then looking back on and I don't like that.
Really?
I don't really care for him to be Robin if that's the way he's acting. To seeing someone get beat up, he's like, oh, and
Oh,
Robin's
okay.
like, yeah, like every Robin I've seen just seems like when they see violence, they either try to stop it or they're just like they're hardened against it, And for
Yeah.
him to be part of a gang and then still seem like he's like I don't know. In my opinion, I would not like that if he turns out to be Robin.
Well, we'll see. Like, there's also, story building up the character. So
True.
hopefully he has a different, they bring him up. But
I
that's the
mean,
last character I had as far as like cast and everything else.
mhm.
But I wanted to bring up the next topic, which is going to be fear. So the whole movie is based on fear. Like all of Gotham is scared to do anything because even though they locked away the craziest criminal known to Gotham, which is like what was the guy they captured again?
What was his name? For on the police side,
Oh, look at this.
have a good stream, guys. We love you. Oh, Cash, right here, man. My heart.
Right. No, so he was like another mafia guy, but like basically like all of Gotham knows who the real governor mayor is, right? It's
Mm.
not the ones that are going for candidate, but it's the guy that's still doing all these crimes behind bars. So they're like, it doesn't matter what the good people try to do. There's still bad people here, and everyone knows it except for the good people.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was part of the movie, like fear, like all of Gotham was scared of that. But then Batman was seeing that fear, could help you control things. Like he thought by like people, for me, he thought the shadows were like fear. He created fear so like they would know that he was there, so they would stop doing what they were doing.
Mhm.
But then like it comes to backfire on him. He learns like it's not fear that helps people out of situations or out of like the darkness. It's hope.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird way to think about it, but that's what I saw. What'd you think about about fear in this movie?
Um, I I look at it as like there's that good scene of where Catwoman gets those eyes, like for surveillance from
Falcone.
Batman. Yeah, she gets it from Batman and then walks in and sees Falcone. Um, we see that like she's pointing out, she's looking around, and then Batman's scanning them, and they're all in on it. Like uh, people are afraid of Falcone, afraid of the mafia, so that they're working in cahoots with them. And then, like you said, the guy they captured, he's like afraid to like even tell Batman who he's working for because of how scared he is of what they would do to him or his family. Um, but yeah, Batman rules with fear too, trying to make criminals fear him. But like you said, he learns later on that's not the way. But yeah, it was pretty good. I would love to see fear explored more if Scarecrow is going to be the next one. Because then we'll see him really look at, like, maybe I shouldn't be scaring people because this guy's taking it over the top.
Yeah, I mean, like it'll probably lead up to that because out of the rogues, the bad guys of Batman, they showed the Riddler, a Penguin, and
Mhm.
we'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
But yeah, fear is like something I thought was very well established in this movie. I thought.
Yeah.
The next one I had was Vengeance. So, what'd you think about Vengeance in this movie?
Vengeance. Yeah, that's his whole stance, right? That he's vengeance. He says that. I think that's one of the first things he says.
Mm.
He wants to. He's angry at the criminals for taking over Gotham, and he acts as like the people's vengeance, as Gotham's vengeance to take back the city and have revenge and put the criminals in jail or beat them up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's portrayed really well in the movie. I thought they did a good job with that.
Walton says, "Let's get Freeze done right so we can all erase the memory of Arnold."
Yeah,
I wanted to bring some of those clips in because that's one of my favorite freezes. You know, it's very quirky or very corny,
yeah.
but
Was that the only time they portrayed him in like live action Batman? I think it was, right?
Freeze, yeah, yeah, I think so.
That would be good to see him in the next movie too.
In a realistic outfit, you know, probably
Yeah.
like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Imagine it'd be like an astronaut outfit, like with the reflecting like foil or something. I don't know.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. What do you think
Another,
about Vengeance though?
what's that?
You thought they did Vengeance pretty well? In the movie?
Yeah, like everything you said and explained, like I thought they did, but I don't know if you caught it at the end when one of the Riddler guys is like he gets caught, right, and they take off his mask and they ask him like, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm Vengeance."
Mm,
So Batman sees that and he goes like, "They're getting the wrong message."
yeah, he's
They're
inspiring
like,
the wrong people.
yeah, because it was like Riddler was trying to. Well, I guess I thought Riddler was trying to team up with Batman to team up with these guys to take over the city, and I
Yeah.
think that's what he inwardly started in a weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, vengeance is basically thinking you're protecting the city by leading it with fear, you know. But I wanted to bring this one up too because at the end of the movie,
Uh-huh.
this is what saves everybody. It's hope. So
Mhm.
as soon as of course Batman's gonna beat the crap out of all these people, and he's gonna try to do his best, but it's like he's fighting all these guys off, but there's still people that are scared, or on the very bottom, they're fear. There's a bunch of fear in them, and as soon as he shows up, he's not gonna go like, "Run, bitch, run," or something like that. He's
Mhm.
gonna be like, "Here's my hand, let me help you." He's
Yeah.
gonna show hope, and then like when he's carrying them all out and they're picking that lady up in the helicopter, he's putting the lady down and she reaches back out to him, trying to like grab his arm and say like, I don't want to go with these people. You're the one that saved us. So you have to protect us, And as soon
Mhm.
as she touched him, he was like, yeah, that's not the way.
Yeah. And we kind of see this a little bit when we see it for ourselves, but I don't think Batman sees it yet. In the beginning, when he beats up the gang, like in the beginning, there's a gang that beats up like one person. Well, they try to rob him and then try to beat him up, but Batman comes out and saves him. It's funny because like this is like one of my. There's other points in the movie that I'm going to bring up that I didn't like, and this was one of the scenes I didn't like, but it might be that it makes sense, but this after he beats them up and the gang runs away, he turns back to look at the guy who he just saved, and he doesn't say anything. And then the scene goes to the next part. Like it just changes scenes after that. It's like the guy was even scared of Batman, the guy on the ground that just got
Yeah.
saved by him. And yeah, we see it. It doesn't work.
N-
He's not. He's saving people, but these people are still so scared of him too.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's why, like, that's the whole contradiction of like saving people, but like they're not appreciating it. You're
Mhm.
not appreciating it because like you're you're either gonna kill me or you're gonna beat the crap out of me next.
Yeah.
But he does say something. He goes like, "Please don't beat me up." You
Oh
know.
no, no, I'm talking about Batman saying something to the guy like "You're
Uh,
safe now" or
yeah.
something.
He probably doesn't want to seem soft and say like you're welcome or anything like that.
You know.
But one little thing I wanted to bring up real quick is this scene. I So yeah, we're done talking about this topic right here. But for me, like I said, cinematography, like I'm into photography a lot, right? Like
Mhm.
I like watching movies because it's a whole different art form for me. But this part right here, it's probably gonna take over, but I'll explain it right after. I'll play it right now. That's that scene. I don't know if you see it, but like when he I'm gonna play it one more time. So when he drops down, it's like 1,000 miles per minute. Like I when I clipped it, it was really funny because uh it took like 5 seconds or 3 seconds. The whole scene. We could tell by the snazzy thumbnails. Let's see. Sorry, but really quick while I'm finding this, what were you saying?
Um, just I mean, going back to the guy who was on the ground, like, yeah, I guess it does make sense because Batman's still learning, and then the guy didn't say, well, he said thing or "don't hurt me" or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, Batman was he was doing it the wrong way, beating people up and then not making sure the people are
Taken
actually
care of.
feeling secure, yeah, taken care of. And yeah, you know what, that scene that you brought up, afterwards he actually does immediately look at the people who are struggling and he goes down to help.
Yeah.
So you could
So
see a little bit more of that.
like for cinematography, like I don't know if you guys could see it still, but so I'll do it right here slowly. So like look at how he drops down. Every single frame is like a wallpaper. It could be your background to your phone, to your PC. You see that? Look at that.
Mhm.
The next one. That's cool. This looks like a comic book right here, like a scene from a comic book. Like he's
Yeah,
blowing through and he's dropping down. This is crazy, isn't it?
yeah, it looks really good. Now that you slow it down like that, that's pretty impressive.
So this right here is only 2 seconds. And like the way he lands, it's like really realistic too. Like he drops down completely. But that's literally 2 seconds right there. Like this whole 2 seconds for me, like caught my eye, and I couldn't stop. I probably watched this like 14 times, like 14,000 times. But like honestly, like one of my favorite scenes and one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, it's funny though because you're saying it's your favorite part of the movie, and I think it's a great part of the movie. It's really cool. It shows that he could come in at the last minute and save everything. And one thing that I see a lot of complaints on too is the glass coming down. It's
Oh
like there are
yeah,
people underneath. Like it's like glass shards coming down at you, and you're in the water trying not to drown. It's oof.
another scene I want to talk about really really quick is this scene right here.
I got you! I got you!
Yeah,
It,
that part
it's
was cool.
just it's just like the acting, the scene, like putting all that together is just like it's perfect, man. Like he's just screaming out like this, and it's just like he's not breaking character, he's like making the character, you know? It's
Yeah,
like it was an awesome addition to the movie.
yeah. Colin Farrell is pretty great. Um, it,
uh
like, yeah. I mean, that highway scene was great though too. It just, wait, are we? Do you want to do this like to where we're going to talk about every scene afterwards, or are we just like? Is it okay if I just talk about something in that scene?
yeah, but let's answer this question really really quick.
Sure.
Late night trip is asking, what do you think about the neon green adrenaline? Wasn't that
Okay,
called?
that's something I wanted to bring up. I think it was Venom. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, honestly, it was kind of like a Deus Ex Machina, where suddenly they find something that's gonna save everything out of nowhere with no explanation. It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, where did he get that venom? Like, is that even venom? Like, the camera focused on it to show that it was something green and weird, and he just injected himself with it. So, like, I wish we could have gotten a little bit more explanation on that. That's kind of like one of the reasons why this Batman movie isn't my favorite Batman movie, was because there was a little things like that would just have no explanation behind it or wouldn't be explored more, and they just kind of use it to move the plot along.
That's true. It's like giving the main character the like ultimate weapon towards the end of the
Mhm.
movie, just to defeat the bad guy at the very end.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool.
it was
But
cool.
yeah, it's like what Deflex Zone says. Everyone knows that stuff what Bane uses. I would say yeah, but then also like the people that haven't followed Batman thoroughly, like Bane is a great character, one of the major villains, but not a lot of people know that he's a genius just like Batman, or he's from Venezuela, or that he grew up an orphan too. I mean, there's a lot of things people don't know,
Yeah,
about Bane, but it
it
was
just looking at the Batman movie by itself, like how you were mentioning earlier, you're not comparing it to the other Batman movies. You're
mhm.
just trying to take it by itself. By itself, if you're watching a Batman movie, you've heard good things about the Batman character. You've never seen the shows. You've never seen read the comics. You go into that and you see he pulls out something green by itself in the film like that. It just doesn't make sense. Like it's not that it doesn't make sense. It just it, it feels like a I don't want to say cop out, but like it's too good to be true. I don't know how you say it, but it just doesn't fit. Like you were saying, it's like the hero getting the ultimate weapon at the end, like with no
Yeah.
explanation behind it. They could have mentioned or said in passing what it was, or that he defeated Bane in a prequel or something, or maybe he mentions that he fought some guy in Venezuela. Maybe that would have alluded to it, but yeah, I didn't really like the scene was cool where he got like powered up from it and he was beating people down like no problem. I didn't like that it was brought in though with no explanation. Like I didn't like the way that they did it, you know?
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Like, everyone could argue that point,
Mhm.
but what else was he gonna do? No.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, you want to get
Uh,
his ass kicked?
Deflex Stone says that it fits Batman lore. Why else make it green? It's the Bane Venom, but only Batman fans would probably get it. Yeah,
Yeah, true.
I mean, I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
No, but you were about to mention something about that one scene that we just watched.
The glass hitting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. So like, there's a few things. There's like maybe two more things I didn't like. The glass coming down from the ceiling while everybody else was like still underneath. Uh, could be done better. Maybe like Batman knew people were in there, but he's gonna break glass anyway and he put those people in there.
Sorry.
Um, so I don't know. It it was cool scene, but it's I don't know. It's one of those little things that got to me.
Yeah, so you also mentioned a couple of things. You wanted to talk about Batman walking away from the Batmobile in the highway.
Yeah, the Batman walking out of the car on the highway was great. It was like an amazing shot with the flames in the background, and then they had it turned upside down, the camera, so that it looks like how bats sleep with their legs hanging on something and they sleep upside down. It's kind of like he's walking and he's a bat himself. And the penguin was like freaking out, like he was like his eyes were widening.
Yeah.
Um, the highway scene itself was weird because we all know like maybe 30 people died on that highway. Then they,
Yeah.
then they move on to the next scene, and then we never hear about the ramifications from those people dying on the highway.
Yeah, Batman even like notices people crash head on and like doesn't stop what he's doing. He just wants to get one person just to get an answer from. This is Savage Batman. Savage Batman doesn't like have any recourse, He just he wants to figure out the the mystery. He doesn't care who he kills.
Yeah. It's like Peacemaker in the DC universe. I love peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, or children I have to kill to get it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's a line from the trailer, so
Oh, okay.
there are spoilers, but yeah, it's it, it's something that I could see maybe in like a '90s superhero movie where they have moments like that, that are kind of like brushed over. But I feel like since it's 2022, movies should take time to explain or go into detail or show the ramifications of little things like that. Like 20 people dying on the highway and they just move on from it. It was just
So Deflex one says it's weird how Batman got in his Batmobile and started revving it up and waited for Penguin to get in his car. Yeah. So he's talking about this scene right here. So yeah, it just shows Penguin like just looking at Batman turning on his car and going like basically come on, rev it up. And then Penguin all of a sudden goes into a Maserati, the car, and he just, if I was Batman, I would have ran his butt over with the car, like with the Batmobile.
yeah. That's the final scene I have an issue with. Like, it's an amazing scene. I saw it in IMAX, so the surround sound and like the way the car, the chair was shaking at the revving, amazing experience. It's like one of the all-time, in my opinion, best Batman moments is seeing that car rev up and then everyone's like, well, what the hell? Yeah. There's a few issues with it though, where how did Batman get that Batmobile by the warehouse without the bad guys noticing? How did or why didn't Gordon call for police backup when he was getting shot at? And then Batman kind of just leaves Gordon there and then expects Gordon to know where he is, like after he captures Penguin. And little things like that just kind of, I don't know.
This is funny. This is exactly why I love doing this stuff live, because comments and other people get to join in.
Mhm.
What I didn't like is the fact that he wouldn't kill, yet he ran Penguin and he should have been killed. He killed everyone else on that highway except for Penguin.
People
He's like,
die.
I got him, you guys. I got him.
Yeah. die.
Walton says, if you have HBO Max, Peacemaker should be added to your watch list. I enjoyed it a bunch despite hating Gunn's Suicide Squad movie.
We saw Suicide Squad together, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it towards the end, like when they started showing the starfish and everything.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about when I mentioned that line, women, children to get it. He says,
That was it. Oh,
yeah,
I'm
that was
sorry.
it.
Okay.
The show though, I like it better than the movie. Yeah, I agree with him. I didn't really like the movie.
Here you go. This is again why I like doing this live. Batman prep time. He had prep time. People always say that if he has prep time, he could kill Superman.
Yeah, you could kill anybody.
Yeah.
I like the arguments where it's like, who would win, God or Batman with prep time or something?
Oh, that's good. That's good. With prep time. But yeah, like
Late Night Trip says best Batmobile to date for me, Dodge Charger. Yeah, I liked it a lot too. It was amazing.
I don't want a Tumbler. Like, to be honest, a Tumbler is like way oversized. Like, I don't want a tank to be in the middle of the city. Like, it needs. I think that the Dodge Charger they use for this one it's great. It's realistic.
Yeah.
I think the exhaust is a little bit too
Yeah.
too out there, because Penguin was like, driving away, and I was like, this car has like a jet engine in the back and it can't catch up to this car.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm surprised the car even was able to withstand the force, the velocity and pressure from the rocket. You think once the rocket like launched, the car would just go up in the sky.
Deflex one says the sound makes it cool. Here you go.
Yeah.
One more time.
Batmobile.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I was just adding it for a bit. But yeah, I like this Batmobile. It's not too cartoony,
Yeah. It definitely is like you could tell he was like, let me go build an American muscle car in the backyard with $1 billion. Like,
Yeah. Alfred's like, what are you doing there? He's I'm putting an engine, a real engine.
American muscle right here.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Didn't have a lot of gadgets in the car. Just pretty much that engine, huh?
Just turbo and
Yeah.
a little bit of he probably took it off of like a freaking shuttle.
Yeah.
He went to NASA. He was like, "Let me borrow this thing." See, this is what I mean too. Meanwhile, Penguin gets in his car. Batman is like, "I gotta go warm up the engine. It's an old car."
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a lot of questionable decisions made there by the Mr. Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
It was a good scene.
It-
Like
yeah.
taking it for what it is, it's like a comic book movie, and it was an action scene, and it was over the top. It was really cool.
So also for the topics I had was Batman taking an explosion to his face.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
didn't like.
talking about the scene, or you explain it.
Okay, so in the scene, they're at like a church. I think they're at like someone's wake or funeral. I can't remember whose funeral it was, but they have a guy. He's tied up with duct tape around a chair, or no, he comes in with duct tape and he has a bomb on his like chest or somewhere, and then he has like a phone that shows the Riddler looking
DA.
back through the camera,
Yep.
and they have to figure out some riddles, otherwise the bomb's going to go off. So the bomb does go off. Batman is like literally inches from the guy's face, and he hears the countdown where like Riddler's counting down to when the bomb's going to explode, and Batman doesn't make any attempt to shield his face, to like kind of keep his distance away from the guy or anything. He takes it to the face. He gets knocked down. He ends up in the like one of the interrogation rooms at the police jail. Like, and he's fine. Like the next scene after that, like I don't know about that. Like you think he would get some shrapnel damage in his eyes or something, but
It's what Deflex said. That's Batman prep time. He already knew it was gonna come to his face, so he put some clear resin around his jawline because he knew he was gonna get burnt. So he was like, "Let me get this stuff on." Yeah, that scene you're talking about where the phone explodes is just a little bit too much for him not to get any type of damage on him. Like at least a little bit burn or something,
yeah. Flexon said for sure got CTE and got scars on his chin.
At
What's
least.
CTE?
CTE, I'm not too sure. What's CTE? Burns on chin. Oh, okay.
Burns on chin.
Late Night says, I saw a video breakdown on the Batmobile the other day. Great stuff.
That's cool. I'd like to see that.
Oh, look at this, man. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that sounds right. I don't know what it is, but yeah,
That's like that Will Smith movie where they find out a lot of trauma dealt with the brain gets you CTE.
Okay.
But that's true too. You should have got that. Shoot, like if it was one of us, like a normal character or like a lesser known character, he would have blown up. Like he would go to just body parts or whatever.
Yeah. There's no way that SWAT gear is gonna help him with the explosion. Even like when bomb disposal squads, I think in real life they wear like that heavy, like it looks like a hazmat suit, like just
Even
full of
a
armor.
shield.
Yeah.
Put a shield in front of
And
him.
then he's got like you said the helmet's like close to his skull, and he has his jaw exposed. Like, yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe like we could buy the Blu-ray of Batman, watch it together, but put director commentary on, and hear what Matt Reeves has to say for himself for these scenes.
So I try to hold off on like doing comparisons, to be honest, but there's something that caught my eye someone posted. I'm going to put this clip up and let me know what you think right after, okay?
Sure.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Animated series.
How do you think this I hate to say it, compares to the animated series? Do you think they borrowed anything from the animated series, or you think they paid homage to it in any way?
Definitely. With that scene when he says "I am vengeance," that's like one of the most popular one of the most popular lines that Batman has said in any medium. Yeah, that's and I also heard from some people they kind of caught the animated series theme song in some of
Yeah.
the soundtrack.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
So
dun.
yeah, I'm sure Matt Reeves took a look at comics and the show, especially the show too, because that showed a lot of people that Batman's cool and all that.
Yeah, especially to us, like we grew up on that, so it's just a little nod to a little bit of to the old school ways.
It was cool. I am vengeance, and then she keeps calling him vengeance, like you said earlier. Like Catwoman just calls him vengeance throughout the whole movie.
So it's funny because I think in the movie the total amount of times they call him the Batman or Batman is two times.
Oh, really?
So he calls himself the Batman because like Gordon goes like, "Where are you going?" When they're inside Riddler's like little room,
Hmm.
he says like, "I think it's over." He goes like, "What is over? The Batman is over," or something like that.
Yeah,
And that's the first time, and then the second time is when Riddler starts calling him the Batman.
yeah,
So it's like it's a really nice touch. Like you could go a whole movie almost and barely mention the main character's name or main character's little thing.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. I never thought about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But a couple last things. You wanted to talk about the Riddler saying Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, you remember that? I thought that was like cool, really cool the way they played that. Where towards the end, he's talking one on one with him, and he's saying how the only one where he just randomly says Bruce Wayne, and then like the Batman's like kind of shocked a little bit, taken aback, so he takes steps back, and the Riddler just keeps repeating Bruce Wayne. I love that scene just because of how like oh he got caught, he's gonna get him, but then later on it's revealed that he just says that he's the only one they weren't able to get.
Yeah.
Great scene.
It's great scene without doing nothing except mentioning someone's name.
Mm.
It's
And then
just
he
like,
just keeps repeating it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Do you
really
think
cool.
that's the acting or the writing that did it?
Both,
Why you say
definitely
that?
both. The acting, the way he like Paul Dano is known for his like over the top screeching. When he's just yelling and his voice kind of crackles a little bit. Him doing like delivering those lines, oh, great. And the writing itself too makes it like if you read like the dialogue on a script and you get to that part, even as a reader, you can feel like, oh crap, Batman got caught, and then Riddler just keeps repeating the name. Like, oh yeah, he definitely got caught until he says that was the only one they didn't get.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's interesting because like the whole movie you're thinking like he's gonna like figure I thought he was gonna say something to him in the little prison saying like, hey, like you're here now, I'm gonna blow everyone up or something like that, or he's gonna make him let everyone out from Arkham. But instead Riddler thinks Batman's part of the plan, which completely threw me off, like you were saying. Like the
Yeah,
whole time I was like, what?
yeah,
There's
great.
no way.
He's really messed up in the head there. And
Yeah.
it also shows that Batman's inspiring the wrong people.
Hmm.
Like he's like, oh crap, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, most definitely. Like one last character I wanted to talk about is I'm sure you've seen it, I'm sure everyone's seen it, but I wanted to talk about let me get this guy really quick. This guy right here. Let me know what you think of this guy. Sorry about that.
Deflex Zone says the music too.
The music was great too. I
Yeah.
actually listened to the album almost every day.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I really like the album. The album's great. There's
Oh.
that one song, the theme song to the Batman.
hmm
Dun, dun, dun. It's great. I definitely agree.
One thing I will say about the soundtrack, besides how amazing it is, like overall, it fits Batman, and it was the right tone for a rainy detective movie. Was that Nirvana song?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
From the
like they
trailer.
played that like one or too many times. I feel like we could have heard it in the beginning and the middle, but we heard it in the no, I'm sorry, the beginning and the ending, but we heard it in the middle again, and I was like, kind of seems like an odd place.
It felt like WWF, like when the character, when the wrestler comes in, his theme
Yeah.
song comes in. Every
Uh,
time the Batman was doing something, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to hear it again."
yeah,
Like I already seen this character, but
yeah. I feel like it could have worked in the beginning and ending, but then they put it in the middle somewhere, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
so to talk about the Joker, like this is part of the deleted scenes, I guess. They didn't want to bring him up. He was in the movie as his character was Arkham prisoner or something like that, right?
Yeah.
In the cast, but everything. This is a deleted scene. To get this scene, you had to solve a riddle, which is given through a website, which I thought was a smart idea. Get people more invested into it.
Yeah, because like the post-credit scene just shows like a quick glimpse of like a website you can go to and solve riddle, and then you
Mhm.
get rewarded with like announcements and this clip.
So Joker is introduced in the movie, but you don't get to see him. So the Riddler is, he's caught. He's inside his prison cell, and he's just blaming everything on himself. But then you hear this. I heard this in a review. This very intellectual, what's it called?
Intellectual?
Very, yeah, intellectual guy talking to him. He's basically talking to him like he's his best friend. Like he's already known him for a long time, And in this scene right here, where he's talking to the Batman, there's another person that like mentions the words he's using to communicate with the Batman. He's using like, it's very what's it called? Psychological. He's Batman's still new, so he's telling him what he wants to hear, but then is also he's telling him like, to get have you seen the trailer, by the way?
Like
Or
for Batman itself?
No, this deleted scene.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but he hands him a notebook full of documents, right?
Uh-huh.
There's paper clips. Someone mentioned one paper clip is missing when he gives it back to him.
Yeah.
So like he's distracting him, the whole time he's talking to him. It's very Joker-like,
I did see some criticism about that, where they were saying how what a boneheaded move for Batman to give him like a stack of papers and there was like a paper clip attached to it. He would have had no to what Joker's history was to get him put in there, like if he's a murderer or something, to take out that paper clip. But I don't know. It's a deleted scene. It's weird because the site was shown at the post credits, but then on the site it posts a deleted scene. Like, so that's not canon.
That's the thing. That's the thing. People don't like this guy's face. Like it's too damaged, supposedly. Like even to be from Lee Bermejo, from one of the comic book artists,
Yeah.
and it's also like if he's this damaged, how he's going to be for the rest of the series? Is he going to be able to get surgery to fix everything going on, or are they going to keep this? If they do keep this, how he's going to walk around, and corrupt everybody?
Yeah. What do you think of it? Did you like it?
I liked it, but they need to tone it down. I think like his lips were all over the place, and too many things going on. Like his hair was like all over the place too. He was missing a lot of spots. I mean, he could probably have a part. It could probably be just a what's it called? When you get poison ivy, you get a what's it called?
Rash, hives.
A reaction. It could just be a reaction to the chemicals he was exposed to.
Yeah.
So it could be that. I hope it's that, but then also like it's too much for me. As far as him playing the Joker, like I think he did I mean, we only get what, a couple, like 5 minutes or 4
Yeah.
minutes.
And
It's
it was a
kind of hard to
deleted
tell.
scene.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. They should have just toned it down. Not a fan of his makeup and didn't like his laugh either. It's Walton Chunky says. I agree. It could have been toned down a little bit. I'm glad it's a deleted scene, and so it gives him a chance to work on it a little bit more. Uh, his mouth just makes me automatically think of Jabberjaw. Um, his hair, I don't like how it's like spotty like that. I don't like how it's even like bright green. I wish they would have toned down the green too.
Yeah, what, did he just dye his hair right before he went to prison or something?
Yeah,
Or-
it just looks. I'm not a fan of it. It's just too bright in my opinion. But also, the scene itself doesn't even make sense. Does Batman just go into Arkham Asylum and be like, "This guy's crazy. Let me ask him questions on what the Riddler's like"? You
He
know?
does. He
Yeah.
tries. So he talks to the. So I don't know if you've read. I don't forget what the other book is called, but basically Joker and the Riddler go to war.
Mhm.
I think it's called Joker Wars, but like yeah, he goes in there. He tries to investigate by talking to what other people would do, and he does it in the Hush series too.
Uh,
He tries to figure out like what would he do during this date or whatever.
it's just funny to me that like he's like, "This guy's crazy too. Let me ask him about this."
Yeah,
And I think it's before he even captures Riddler, right?
yeah.
I don't know. It's like I ran out of ideas. I can't think. Like, let me go to Arkham Asylum and ask one of those nut jobs about like what they would do. I'm glad it's a deleted scene now.
So I had one question I forgot to get to, or one topic I forgot to get to. You probably. So I don't understand if all the bad guys, all the corrupt people are in this bar, under bars, a bar within the bar, or a club within the club. I feel like 90% of the people knew about it. Why didn't Batman just go directly to that, to
And
that
bust everyone.
bar and bust everybody there? Yeah.
I don't think he could because they have power that he doesn't. So if he were to bust all of them there, then the people who weren't at the club that night would pull strings and get them all out of there and be like, he's a vigilante. Like he can't just bust everybody there. He has no jurisdiction.
He's Batman though.
I mean, he
He
could
like
do it. He could go in there and bust heads, but in the end, they're still going to look at him as a criminal. Like those friends and accomplices of everybody at that club, they have like bosses, and other friends, and family. They have to be in powerful positions. Like the corruption went higher than even Batman thought.
Yeah, so that's true. Like the characters were like the district attorney, and he was mentioning like, yeah, all the power was there.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Um,
Uh, I think we got to everything. There's still a couple people here. Deflex Zone, Late Night, Walton. Thanks for joining. Is there anything else you guys think we probably left out, or anything you wanted to include? Just let us know in the comments. But I wanted to go over your score. I don't know how you want to score it. I'm scoring it, out of 10. I don't know if you want to use your own system, like AB, whatever. But for me, I want to give this movie uh like an 8.6.
hmm.
It's very, very good movie. It's not, I would say it's almost great. The little things like we were nitpicking and stuff like that, like what we talked about, is a little bit like the how long the movie was. Like there's a lot of stuff they could have cut out there, but there's also a lot of things they could have put in. But I think I would recommend it. I would
Mhm.
say yes, definitely go watch it.
Yeah. I think 7 or higher is definitely recommended. At least the way I look at it. Um, I'd give it like a 7.8. Because like you said, it's those scenes that were like we talked about that didn't really make sense or that didn't have any explanation behind them.
Yeah.
I feel like those were easy things to fix, and I can't believe Matt Reeves didn't go back and be like, "Wait, we need to kind of tighten that up a little bit there." and it sucks because the movie's great. I mean, not great. It's good. When you see it again, you can't help but wonder about those scenes. You know, like you can't help but wonder what happened to those people on the highway. Like, how did Batman get his car there? All that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. I liked it. Music was good, acting good, cast great, story was good.
It's funny. D-Flex, he was like, skip the score. I love this movie.
Yeah. They said not a fan of his makeup. Problem is, we all have Heath in our head when we think of a cinematic Joker. True.
Should just get Hamill come and play live action Joker.
I don't know about that.
He's a little bit too old, right?
Yeah. Maybe if they de-age him or
Luke
make him play an
Skywalker.
old Joker. That'd be actually cool to see an old Joker.
Aiden says 7 out of 10. That's a fair score.
Yeah. You know what I noticed? There wasn't a lot of like humorous moments in the movie. Like there was a couple.
So something I guess I forgot to completely mention was it's a PG-13 movie, right?
Mm.
For PG-13, I was scared that they were going to take that route, funny route, because rated R for me, I really like 100%. I was like, this is gonna be badass. But PG-13, it was scaring me away because I was like, PG-13, it's gonna kill it for me. That's one of the biggest reasons I don't like the Marvel movies. It's too kiddie for me. Like a lot of like kid humor in there, and there's a lot of like wow moments. But for me, the wow moments are only enjoyable while you watch that in the first time. The rest of the time, you're like, that's cool,
Yeah.
But this movie, like I watched it the second time, and all these scenes that we were talking about, it still blew me away. I was like, oh shoot, it was building. It was a nice build up. It was dark, and everything, but it was it's memorable. I'll put it that way.
One unintentionally funny thing was I think he was the commissioner. But do you remember when they were in the interrogation room after Batman got blown up? There was one guy that's like, you come into my city, and you go into my jail, and who do you think you are? Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, like just hearing him talk. Like, I can't tell if this actor has a speech impediment or anything wrong with him. So sorry if anybody's offended or if that's what it is.
No. He's in the show. He's in the show Chernobyl. That's how he speaks.
Oh, okay. Then my bad. Let's move on from that.
No, so I know Hamill's older, but he is my favorite Joker voice, and he needs redemption after being subjected to The Last Jedi. Agree. WB could fix everything if they put him back, at least as a voiceover or something.
Definitely.
So I heard about this too. Are you all ready for the Penguin spinoffs? The Penguin's getting a show. I think a 6-episode show in HBO Max.
Yeah.
One of the guys brought this up. Can you believe there's never been a series about a bad guy?
What about Breaking Bad?
I guess Breaking Bad would be one, right? Well, I'm sorry, a comic book figure.
Oh, comic book bad guy? Yeah, I guess there hasn't been. It's going to be hard, though, because with these like anti-hero shows or like a show like Breaking Bad where you're kind of almost rooting for Walter White, the main character sometimes, you kind of have to make them sympathetic. And for Penguin, I feel like the only way they can make Penguin sympathetic is to show his origin of like how he'd be made fun of by other kids for walking like a penguin or looking like a penguin. And if it shows him as an adult, like what are we gonna see that's gonna make us cheer for this guy?
The way he comes into being part of like one of the biggest, crime lords out there.
Yeah,
like
I guess. But
I'm sure just for him to be like climbing the ladder, he got, who is this guy? They're gonna be making fun of his face, fun of his walk, and no one's gonna take him serious.
Yeah. Someone late night trip says I'm hearing Penguin will be rated R.
I got to say that.
Awesome.
If that's true, then hell yeah.
Yeah, you're on your way to go see it immediately. There wasn't there another show though. They said it was originally going to be about the police force, Gotham City Police, but then
Mhm.
Matt Reeves said he changed his mind and it's going to be about Arkham
That'd be
Asylum.
interesting.
Um,
I didn't hear that. That'd be interesting.
yeah, like apparently that was what he had in mind. It kind of like also that website we were talking about earlier, the one that showed after the credits, the deleted scene. They're showing it now, and it looks like it's been taken down by the Gotham City Police. When you go on that website now, it shows their insignia. So I feel like that kind of alluded to a Gotham City Police show, but now since it's changed to Arkham, who knows if it might change again.
Yeah. Deflex says, I want to get. Hey, man, you gotta let us know what you think of the movie. Like, what's your score on this movie?
Yeah.
I want to get rid of HBO Max too. Might have to hold off. Morbius should have been rated R. I haven't seen that one yet.
Ooh, I heard bad things about Morbius.
Yeah, some guys at work were talking about that not being the best of movies or best of Marvel movies. Well, actually, isn't it? It's a Marvel movie, but it's made by Sony.
Yeah, it's like a Sony movie that they want to put into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I looked up the end credits of that, and oof. Like, the end credits are kind of worth it, but it still kind of sucks. But I'm not gonna. I'll watch it when it comes out streaming or something.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna wait for Deflex One and Late Night Trip to send off the scores before we close off the show. But anything else you wanted to add about this movie?
I think we covered about everything. Batman saves the city. The city gets. Oh, you know what? I did think it was funny how Batman's the whole time he's trying to prevent a disaster. He's trying to catch Riddler, and then the city turns into a disaster anyway because everything gets flooded, and like the mayor gets shot at one point, and then at the end, I remember watching it with our cousin, and I was like, he saved the city. Meanwhile, water's pouring everywhere. I thought that was
So Deflex finally answered. He says 9.5 out of 10 for him.
dang.
Dang. You gotta be easy on that.
Yeah, all right, 9.5s out there.
Or you gotta
Take it easy, sweetheart.
That was perfect.
yeah. That's
It looks like Late Night Trip agrees with that. Well, yeah. So,
I don't know. Late night. Do you agree with Deflex? Like with 9.5 out of 10? Walton says, I'm talking about Morbius. I like this movie. It was probably an 8.5. It could have been in the 9s had they trimmed it up in places.
Oh, really? Huh. Maybe I should watch it. Oh, I just don't like Jared Leto.
Jared Leto as an actor, he's great. Like, I think him playing as Joker was horrible, but every other movie, he's just like Robert Patterson. He's great.
I heard a backstage thing about him that he, even after when he needs to use the bathroom, he still acted like he was crippled, and he went to the bathroom in a wheelchair because he was taking so long on the crutches. It just like you don't need to take things that extreme. I feel with acting, but I don't know. I'm not an actor.
Oh, he says, I meant with Rodney's comment. It's another statue guy.
What?
He was saying this movie is an 8.5. So Rodney said this. Rodney liked it, but this taste in movies, from my experience, is questionable. Or his taste in.
But earlier he said, "I'm talking about Morbius. I like this movie." It was okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, he's saying this movie's 8.5, and
Yeah.
oh, there we go. Late night finally put it in 9 out of 10. Dang, man, I think I scored it too low then.
Don't give in to the pressure. These people don't know what they're
What did I say? I said 7.8, right?
Stay in the comments. You said 7.8, yeah. I said 7. No. I thought I said 7.8.
What did I say?
We gotta rewind the tape.
We'll rewind the tape. Yeah. But Yeah, man. Well, thanks for every. Christopher, do you have anything else to add?
It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out.
Walton, man, thank you. I said 8.6. You should join the show next one, man. You're. It's just like I'm reading a bunch of things on these screens, so I'm sorry. But yeah, 8.6 for me, 7.8 for you.
Yeah, it's like in the high sevens, high eights. I think that's fair.
At like 9.8.
Jeez.
Dang. Late night. We gotta talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just to give you guys a heads up, I want to do more of these. I know we do statues all the time, but I want to do a little bit more movies. So it doesn't have to be a new movie. We can watch a movie, Hellboy or Scream or something like that. And it's not going to be it's not going to be every Thursday. It could be whatever day. But if Walton, Late Night, or Aiden or Deflex one, if you guys want to join the next one, let us know. Like this is open for everyone. It'd probably be easier with a lot more people because argue back and forth and then
Yeah.
but yeah, man. What do you say? Watch Usual Suspects. Who's that one with again?
I haven't seen that one. I know the promo picture showed like a lineup of people. So,
Oh yeah. What? So for the next show I'll put it up. So we'll agree on something, and then I'll put it up for everyone if they want to join or not. But we'll talk about it. I think this would be cool. This would be like a nice a little breather from statues. But yeah, Christopher, thanks for joining, and we'll have to catch up on the next one.
yeah, definitely. Feels good to be back on.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Just one more time. Well, I hope everyone has a great night, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys.
See you guys.